legality. Tonight, NBC5 investigates accused narco trafficker Joaquin Guzman Lopez. His father is the world's most notorious drug lord known as El Chapo.
Chapo's son is accused of helping to lead one of the most bloodthirsty cartels on earth, a group responsible for thousands of murders and hundreds of thousands of overdose deaths. Tonight, this man, Joaquin Guzman Lopez, is being spared from the death penalty, a punishment federal authorities initially said was a possibility. Our investigative reporter Chuck Gowdy joining us now with what led to what appears to be a break for El Chapo's son. Chuck?
Stefan, at first glance, Joaquin Guzman Lopez might appear to have a death deal with federal prosecutors in Chicago that will allow him to live. Federal authorities here tonight are not laying out why they have decided to take the death penalty off the table almost 1 year after El Chapo's son was whisked from Mexico to Chicago in a mysterious and yet unexplained private plane flight across the border. But legal experts tonight say the announcement that Justice Department officials will not pursue the death penalty is more practical than merciful. It was on this prop jet that Joaquin Guzman Lopez made his surprise landing on U.S. soil last July, along with the co-founder of his father's Sinaloa cartel. This was no official extradition. Had it been, El Chapo's son would not have been eligible for the death penalty. An American treaty with Mexico prevents extradition when capital punishment is in play. But because this cross-the-border flight was not a government extradition and was something else, unexplained to this day, 38-year-old Joaquin Guzman Lopez was technically eligible for execution in this lethal injection room here at the federal prison in Terre Haute, Indiana.
He is facing death.
Last summer, his own attorney, Jeffrey Lichtman, said Guzman Lopez is facing death if convicted following a Chicago court appearance where federal prosecutors stressed it was a death penalty eligible case. Tonight, though, according to this federal court filing, that has changed. New U.S. Attorney Andrew Boutros stating if the defendant is convicted, the government will not seek a sentence of death.
It makes no sense for us to impose the death penalty on somebody who voluntarily comes to the United States when we would not impose the death penalty on somebody and cannot, who is extradited.
The attorney for El Chapo and his sons tonight tells NBC Chicago that removal of the death penalty is not part of a plea agreement by Guzman Lopez with federal authorities, nor will it be part of any future guilty plea deal, assuming, he says, they reach such agreement. That seems to open a doorway that his brother Ovidio Guzman has already walked through. Ovidio has a plea deal brokered by attorney Lichtman and is scheduled to plead guilty on July 9th.
There's no other possible scenario in which they will see a day of freedom in their lives. So unless they want to spend the rest of their living days in a maximum security federal prison, they'll cut a deal.
So scrapping the death penalty wasn't part of a plea deal, but is part of the government's overall prosecution deal, along with an unprecedented invitation to 17 El Chapo family members now seeking safe passage from Mexico into the United States. As NBC Chicago first reported 2 weeks ago, Chapo's kin were granted entry at the border in a case that grows more curious with each turn.